Today on ballisticbbq from the beautiful Sonoran Desert in Southern California. I'm going to be cooking up pizza and a beautiful American Wagyu ribeye on the Bighorn infrared grill. Let's get going. And here's that Bighorn grill. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I own an infrared cooker at my house. Very similar to this, but the price tag on the one I have at my house is like over $1,500. This one's right in that $200 price range and reaches 1,500 degrees like the one I have at home. Really looking at it, the only major difference is you have to adjust the trays manually. The one I have at home for $1,500, you use a lever to raise and lower the grates. This, you use this tool here, then remove the grate, then you just select whatever slot you want in relation to the burner, which is up in the ceiling here. So obviously this works off of propane. To light this, you have a knob on top. It's got an electric ignition, so you just push the knob, then turn the gas on. You can hear the gas is pumping in. It'll go quiet. That means it's actually lit. So then you can release it. Now you have your adjustments. Right now it's currently on high. Then you can turn the knob to the furthest position low. So you can adjust whatever temperature you're looking for with the knob. Turn it off. Now with a cooker like this, there are no temperature settings. Like, you're not going to set it for 350 degrees, 1,500 degrees. It's more or less developing a feel for the cooker and looking at the burner. You'll see when it's hot, it's going to be glowing that just orange red color. The more you cook on this, the more you're going to get that just the feel for it. And it's actually a fun way to cook. There aren't a lot of moving parts on this type of cooker. You have a stainless steel shelf. This is removable. Then we have a drip tray and a heat diffuser. You want to have these in place whenever you're cooking. Other than that, it's your cooking grates, which are stainless steel with pretty much everything else on this cooker. We also have a pizza stone, which I'm going to be using on this cook. That just slides on in. And again, you raise or lower the shelf to wherever you want this pizza stone to be. This is going to be my first cook on this, but like I said, we're out here in the beautiful desert and we are going to kick it off with lunch. We're making pizza. Okay, for this pizza, we're on the desert. I'm not going to be messing around with dough or anything, especially when there's wind will blow dust. I found these at the store. It's called Brooklyn pizza bread. It looks really good, and we'll see. But it's nice and nice and bubbly, you can see, but easy. And they're actually twice this long. Obviously, I cut it in half. It's not going to fit in this pizza oven or cooker if it's this long. So first things first, we're going to add some pizza sauce. And what I did here, this is my favorite way to do pizza sauce. I bought a couple cans of the chopped tomatoes, and they're seasoned with garlic and basil. And then I just throw some salt in there and hit it in the blender, just blend it up. I use an immersion blender, but just a regular blender will work. And it makes it really nice. It doesn't taste fake. It tastes very homemade. We're not going to, my wife and I, we don't like a real heavy coating of sauce, so I'm going fairly light with the sauce. And I have the cooker preheated right now, ready to rock. This is some freshly grated, well, I grated it at home, mozzarella. What I mean by that is we didn't buy pre-grated. We grated it ourselves. It just melts so much better if it's not from a bag. We're going to go simple. Pepperoni, which is our personal favorite. We'll just throw in a little bit of pretty coarsely chopped mushroom. We'll put this on using just a long spatula. Get this in there. You can see a little bit black in the corners, but when you get a wood-fired pizza at a restaurant, you're going to get a little black on those bubbles. So let's see how we did. Nice. Cupped pepperoni, melted cheese is hot in my hand. So these are individual pizzas. I'll be cooking one more so my wife can get a nice fresh one. Like I said earlier, with these type of cookers, you need to kind of develop a feel for the cooker. What I'm going to do on this next pizza that is going to be my wife's is I'm going to lower that shelf just one more notch down, and I think that'll give me the perfect cook, but I'm not complaining about that at all. So I'm going to cook one more pizza fresh for my wife, and as I mentioned in the intro, I'm also going to be cooking a really nice, beautiful American Wagyu Ribeye. I'm going to be doing a reverse sear on that because it's pretty darn thick. So we're gonna have our lunch, and I'll see you at dinner time. Cheers. All right, dinner time is closing in. I have the Bighorn heated up right now. This is what we are going to be cooking for dinner. This is it's 1.8 pound American Wagyu ribeye steak. And last night what I did while I was at home, actually it was the night before last, I seasoned this with kosher salt, both sides, put it on a rack uncovered in the fridge. And so it's already salted. And now I'm going to go ahead and put a thermometer in it. I'm going to do a reverse sear on this. The lighting and everything's been challenging for me, and the sun's down behind this mountain right now. So we'll see how this goes. So I have the cooker running on low. I left this upper rack, or the grate here, for kind of to use it as a heat diffuser. And then I have the lower grate where I'm going to cook the meat for the low and slow part. And what I'm going to do is put it in here. Once it hits about 85 degrees, I'll flip it. Once it hits 125 degrees, I'll pull it, and then we'll set it up for the sear. Here we are, we're cooking. All right, so I'll see you on the flip. All right, we just hit 85. I'm going to flip it. Before I do, I want to point something out. As soon as I turned the cameras off, I realized that metal grate alone wasn't going to be enough of a heat diffuser. The steak started sizzling on top, so I put that pizza stone on top, and it's working perfectly. I don't think I mentioned it. It took about 25 minutes to hit 85. Now flip it, look at that. Oh, good. All right, next stop, 125. Another 20 minutes, and it's at 125 now. We're gonna pull it, let it rest a little bit. It's smelling like Wagyu out here. It's crazy. Check it out. So what I'm going to do now is let this rest, and then about 10 minutes or so, I'm going to cover it loosely with foil. Then we'll sear it off. Then after that, while this is resting for the final rest, we're going to cook up some potatoes and some asparagus. Here's that rested steak. What I'm going to do is just take a paper towel and blot off it's just water, and it actually impedes the searing when you put a wet steak into a broiler or whatever, or on the grill. So I'm going to try to just get that water off. It smells so good. Now, as I said, I've already dry brined this with salt, so now I'm just going to add some black pepper. All right, let's hit the grill. Okay, you can see I don't have the grate quite halfway up. It's below halfway. This is a thick steak, and it's also, American Wagyu. It's got that really soft, supple fat. and I don't want to risk burning it. So what I'm going to do is put it in here, flip it 3 times. It's going to be 30 seconds, then flip, total of 3 times. So each side's going to be exposed to this intense 1500 degree heat for 30 seconds. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, we're going to rest the meat. In the meanwhile, I'm going to cook up some veggies. Here's the asparagus, and we blanch this lightly just to soften them up a little bit. Wagyu beef tallow spray. This stuff is awesome. These kind of evened out on the tray here. I'm just going to hit this with some seasoning. This is like a garlic oregano seasoning with some salt in there. So they call a French seasoning is what it's labeled as. Baby potatoes that we cut in half and boiled. Just softened them. They're kind of more parboiled than anything. More of that Wagyu tallow. I'm going to hit it with the same seasoning here again. Salt, some pepper, garlic, oregano. Then on top of these, I'm going to sprinkle some onions. These are just finely chopped onions. Actually, not finely, just chopped onions. A little Wagyu for good measure. All right, let's get these on the grill. Kick this off with the asparagus. These looking good. Now potatoes. They're looking good. Nice. We're out of sunlight. Let's try out this steak, see how it turned out. We're in the dark now. All right, we are done. I am in the dark, and I'm not really prepared for this type of lighting, so I hope it looks halfway decent. Anyway, let's give this a try. It's looking good. All right, let's give this a try. Perfect medium rare. It didn't get overcooked, which is always, you know, the risk with cooking at such an intense heat, but this proves to me that that cooker can definitely do a reverse sear. The key though was that pizza stone. I don't have a fork to try out the accoutrements here. So we have the asparagus. It's done. This is the way I like it. It's not mushy at all. It's not too al dente. It's just a nice cooked piece of asparagus. The seasoning is really good. Potatoes. Same thing. You know, these were just parboiled. We just wanted to get some color on them, wanted to finish the cooking process, and we did that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This thing's awesome. And again, I own a very expensive one at home. It's cooking just as well. Look at that. For the price, you can't beat this. And yeah, we were talking about whether or not this is something that we'd want to bring on other camping trips. We both decided yes, because more than the steaks, the pizza was really fun for us to cook. And we're picturing a couple friends with us making pizzas out in the wilderness in the desert or the, you know, Sierras or something. So dig it. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that sub button, ringing the notification bell, thumb it up if you like it. I hope you did. I hope I'm not all completely washed out. Maybe that's a good thing if I am, though. See you in the next video. Cheers.